everybody, it's KelseeBrianaJai here with a video on some Morphe palettes. I have here the 25A and 25B palettes, which have been very popular on social media. So one of my friends had these palettes and I was like, can I borrow those? So she let me borrow hers. She trusts me so much to do a video for you guys because I know a lot of you all are probably curious as to what's up with these palettes. Like, do we need these palettes? So let's go through them. There are two, the 25A and the 25B. These come from morphecosmetics.com. I will have a link where you can get these palettes down below, but these palettes are extremely affordable. They are $17.99 each retail, plus if you guys use some of the Beauty Guru's codes, you can get like an additional 10% off with the occasional more percentage off. So they come in pretty lightweight packaging. It's like a standard packaging. It's plastic. It almost reminds me of like an oversized CD case. I know it's been a minute since you last bought a CD. Then it doesn't come with the mirror. It has a clear case so you can see like which products that you're getting. And here's 25A. So this one is called the Copper Spice Eyeshadow Palette. This one is the warmer eyeshadow palette of the two. It has like the very warm browns and the bronzy colors. The bottom row is a little bit cool toned in my opinion, but the rest of the colors are very, very warm. This is a neutral eyeshadow palette, different variations of browns. I really like the colors in this palette. Between the two, if I was going to pick between 25A and 25B, I definitely like 25A better. It's just more of my preference. I prefer warmer colors and I think this one is just overall prettier. A lot of these colors in this palette look very repetitive just upon initial sight. As an artist, I see how there are differences between all of the browns. To an everyday consumer, this just might be a lot of brown and it may not be something that interests you, but to an artist, we see the differences in browns, like the different tones. I predominantly use this palette for my eye look today. I did a spotlight eye, which you guys will see in a second. I did film a tutorial, which will be following this review. And I mainly worked out of this eyeshadow palette. I did try to use the other one just so I can have a even amount of usage of it, but I just found myself leaning towards this one. The shimmer eyeshadows in here outperform the matte eyeshadows. Matte eyeshadows are a little bit thinner in texture and they're not as fully saturated as the shimmer eyeshadows, which are more pigmented. Looking at that, the matte eyeshadows outweigh the amount of shimmer eyeshadows, which I think are the stars of the palette. This palette is currently in stock right now, but that can change at a moment's notice. It goes in and out of stock. I do see that. So this palette is described as an exotic and earthy mix of deep browns and spicy shades are the perfect complement to the fiery metallics and shimmering taupes of this palette. For a coppery glow or sultry smolder, this palette turns up the heat. Also provide information about the dimensions of the palette. I don't really see why that's relevant, but the length is 6 inches, the width is 6 inches, and the thickness is 1/2 inch. And the number of pans is 25 and the pan size is 1 inch. Moving into the 25B palette, it's definitely the cooler toned palette. It has more of those very muted colors, grayish, like a plumish, purplish color. So to me, this one is more grungy. This one is the same size. It again still has 25 colors and it's also the same price. Right now this one is out of stock on the website, but it definitely can come back at a moment's notice. The description of this eyeshadow palette states, with shades of mellow cabernet, warm brandy, and mocha, this palette is as inviting as steamy spiced latte on a crisp, cool day. The mix of warm and cool mattes with neutral shimmers ensure easy everyday looks that never get boring. Here are the palettes side by side for comparison. To me, it's just a sea of brown. I don't necessarily think that you need both. If you're wanting to do the whole face highlighter thing that you've seen on the internet, I saw Jaclyn Hill do it on her Snapchat, then definitely get B because this is the one that has the lighter shimmery shades. But if you're a person who likes more golden tones, then get A. They're not my favorite palettes, but they're definitely workable. I like the look that I was able to create today. But before we go into that, I am going to give you guys swatches of both of the palettes. So I'm going to swatch the palette row by row from left to right, like how you read a book. So like this, and you guys can see the different tones and colors in the palettes. And then immediately following that, we'll jump right into the tutorial. So enjoy, make sure you subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. The first thing that I'm going to do is apply a paint pot for my base, and today I'm using a MAC paint pot in the color Soft Ochre. Next, I'm going to take the 25A palette, this top color here, and I'm going to set my eye with that. Next, I have to go in with this color. I have to take this color. This one is also in the 25A palette. It is the last color on the top row, and I have a MAC 286 brush, and I'm going to fluff this in my crease. This is going to be my first transition color. Next, I'm going to go into the 25B palette just to give it some love. And I'm going to take this color here. It's also on the first row. It's the last color. With the same brush that I just used, the MAC 286, dip into this eyeshadow. And I'm going to apply this on the very outer corner, lightly fluffing it in. And I'm going to take a little bit of that on the very inner corner as well, and fluff it in reverse. And you can continue building that until you get it to look about like this. Going back into the 25A palette, I'm going to go on the 1, 2, 3, third row, 1, 2, 3, fourth color over this one right here. Again with the exact same brush, dipping into this eyeshadow. I am now going to apply that right here on the lid. What you need to do is just press the eyeshadow on and then smoke it over. Like that. And then I'm going to go on the inside and do the same thing. And bring it over. Next, I'm going to switch to a flat shader brush. This is a MAC 239 brush. And I'm going to grab some of that same color and now press it on the lid to build the intensity. Applying it first with the blending brush is going to buff it out like how we want, so it gives us that nice blended edge. And then going in with this brush is going to build the intensity on the lid. So concentrate the color on your lid only, and like here, but don't pat the color up here where we blended it. Make sure you have the same amount of space open on your eyelid. So how I'm measuring it is I'm looking at my iris and I'm looking to make sure that it lines up. So now I'm going to go back into the 25B palette. 1, 2, 3, third row, second column, this color right here. And get a little bit on your brush. It's pretty pigmented, but dust off the fallout. And what we're going to do is take this right underneath our brow arch. Don't press hard on this at all, because this color is a little bit too dark for underbrow highlight, but if you go in with a lighter hand, it will work. I'm going to go back into the 25A palette and going in on the 1, 2, 3, fourth row, 1, 2, 3, fourth column. I'm going to take this color, and this is the gold color on a flat shader brush, and I'm going to load my brush up with this color. Make sure you tap off the excess so it doesn't fall on your face. And I'm going to take my Fix Plus. You can take whatever spray you have, but I'm going to dampen my brush, and I'm going to press that in the center where we left that spot open. So I'm going to take it all the way straight up as my spotlight. You'll have to go over this a few times to build up the intensity, but basically I'm just pressing it right in the center. And don't worry about blending it, because it'll kind of blend itself. So just continue to build up this color until it's like a bright gold. On the lid, I want it to be the most prominent, and then I just want to take whatever's left and fade it upwards. Try to keep this color as much in the middle as possible. So we're done with the top of the eyes. I'm going to go ahead and add some eyeliner, lashes, and finish up the rest of my face. And I'll come back and we'll do the bottom of the eyes together. So now on the bottom, we're going to follow the same pattern as what's on the top. So I'm going back with that same brown color that we used, and I'm going to trace that along my lower lash line and leave the center blank and add the gold down here as well. Make sure you connect it with the top and lightly drag this over. I actually am going to switch my brush. This is a Wayne Goss 08 brush. Same thing like what I was just saying. I just needed a much smaller brush to do the detailed work. I definitely recommend already having your concealer and everything on and set for this, because if not, this can get really messy if stuck in your concealer. So now going back with the gold and the same like little bitty brush, I'm going to add this right in the center so it aligns with the top. And then we need a little bit of mascara on the bottom. This is MAC Extended Play. Now I'm going to dip into 25B and take this color right here. And I'm going to use this as a highlighter. Alright, it looks cute. Hey love, so this is the finished look. For a list of everything that's on my face, make sure you check my description box. Let me know if you have these palettes. If you do and you recreate this look, please tag me on social media, Snapchat, Instagram. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so we can stay in touch, okay? Make sure you like this video and leave me a comment down in the comment section. So I will see you guys in my very next video, which will be very soon. Smooches! Bye!